August 1956, 20,000 women marched to the Union buildings in Pretoria to protest against the amendments to the act that women had to carry a pass during apartheid. The women then sang a protest song that was composed in honor of the special occasion. Wathinde, Wathinde abafazi, Wathinde mbukudu. Now that you have touched the woman, you have struck a rock. In the 60 years since, this phrase has come to represent the courage and strength of South African women. There is no limit to what we as women can accomplish. Good evening, Madam Toastmaster, fellow members, and guests. There is no limit to what we as women can accomplish. This is a quote by Michelle Obama that I believe that every single woman should live by. In generations gone by, women have been led to believe that their job is in the kitchen, or that their job is as a wife or a mother, and to look after their family. This patriarchal belief system had women believing that they didn't have to pursue their education or work towards a career, and that the husband would be the breadwinner and provide for all the needs of the family. The women were financially dependent on their husbands. Now, there are women that would say that being a housewife and looking after their children is the ethereal job in the world. I'm sure that this is very true. Who wouldn't want to spend all their time at home looking after and caring for their children, as opposed to going to your 9-to-5 job, having to put up with your crappy boss, get back in your car, go to traffic, or sit in traffic, and get home? So of course, we'd love that. And why would you want to become a wage slave in a gossipy environment if you could rather spend your time at home with your children? If you're living a comfortable life and you are happy to make your household and your family your priority, you are lucky and blessed. However, women have more opportunities today than they have ever had before. Since 1994, for example, South Africa has achieved 43% of women representation in the cabinet and about 33% in provincial legislatures, including the appointment of the first female deputy president in 2005. The representation of women in the South African Parliament has increased from 27% in 1994 to 43% in 2009. This puts South Africa amongst the leading countries in the world in terms of the number of women in leadership positions. During World War II, for example, women stepped up to keep the economy going while the men went off to the war. This opened up crazy amounts of opportunity for women, but it also meant cheaper labor for the corporates who were looking to keep their overhead costs down. When the men returned, women had a bit of a taste of what the working environment was like, and women's rights activists realized and fought for women to be included in the job market because they wanted women to have similar opportunities to men. They fought for things like equal pay for equal work, and decades of activism and some perception shifts mean that today women have everything to gain if they choose to improve their education and choose to work. While there are plenty of happy, educated and skilled housewives, there are still far too many women in South Africa with the mentality that they don't need to educate themselves or have any ambition because their husbands are providing for them. This leaves women in a far more vulnerable position if there are any marriage problems later on. Another problem we face in South Africa is our domestic violence. One of the main reasons women stay in abusive relationships is because they have family, or they have become too financially dependent on their husbands. There are women who feel forced to stay in polyamorous marriages, though unhappy, because they no longer have any means of economic support. Have a look at polyamorous forums online. While many do support the lifestyle, what happens to those women who feel trapped or who are unhappy in the environment? Without a proper education or a means to become independent, it leaves women with fewer options. Many just have to accept that this is how things are. Furthermore, there are instances where women don't know the violent nature of their partners, which they may hide in the early stages of their relationships. The women usually discover this after it's way too late, Young girls should be encouraged by their parents to dream big, to have goals, to seek education, improve their skills, and be financially independent. No woman should ever feel like they need to stay in an abusive relationship because they'll be homeless or poor if they leave. Even housewives should be encouraged to at least gain a skill if they have the time. Not because their husbands might become abusive, but rather because freak accidents do happen in South Africa. Crime is a problem that we face, and also you never know what can happen. Having an extra means to provide for your family is never a bad idea at all. Dear South African women, do not be afraid to strive for more. Know the importance and value your independence. You do not need to feel dependent on your partner, especially if they are abusive. If you have empowered yourself, if, however, you are stuck in an abusive relationship and have no means of economic support outside of your partner, there are many support groups and shelters that can assist. The protection order also serves to help women who find themselves under these circumstances. Having an education and income-earning skills, though not always required, makes it far easier for women to make different choices if they need to. There is no limit to what we as women can accomplish. Having the freedom to make those choices did not come easily, which is why women owe it to themselves to take the opportunities they are afforded and empower themselves. Thank you.
Key points that I've taken away from you.